I want 5% at least. So I raised it to 5%. When I do those, when I change them, then the default trader, when you first sign up, I changed that also to be the default. So the default in here would be 5%.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Good answer. Okay, Edward, you want to grab the next one, or you want me?
Alex says, with the SWIFT token, that's SWFTC, it had 1,239 trades in the last 12 months. If you look under the column 29 of 25, it shows 22 trades for the month of September. Aren't we missing opportunities opposed to a token that's having a lot more transactions?
Ooh,
Well, they're not. You can't.
ooh, can I answer that? Can I answer that,
Yeah,
please?
go
Can I
for
answer
it,
that,
Simon.
please? No is the answer. No, we're not. We're not, just because the thing here is this is history. What is on your screen right now is things that have happened. We have no idea what November, in our case right now, right, is going to hold for us. We have no idea. Zero.
And what do you do
So-
with your old inventory? You can't just
Right.
throw it away at a loss.
No.
And
that's
the other
true.
coins.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, but go ahead. Go ahead. That's one of my favorite
there's
questions
value.
to ask.
The value is in this. The value is in
Right.
the well-seasoned auto trader. I've already got all this inventory. I've already got the market trapped on these coins for the rest of my life. I'm not going to sell them I'm not going to just dump my inventory. And then it's random because where are we at here? It's random. This is, you notice these two are still at the top just because they had a few slow months. All the coins had a few slow months.
No, yeah, let me piggyback on that. Those numbers that you're looking at, right? We talked earlier about market manipulation. So let me give you my 2 cents at why the market's been behaving the way that it has, is because, as Ed said, the whales are pushing all of the little guys out. All the people that don't have this trader. Think about 2 buckets. People that don't have the trader and people that do have the trader. If you do have the trader, you don't worry about it because it literally is taking profits on the, as somebody suggested, the $1 billion report should be called the Wiggles report, right? It should be. It should be. So
I'm writing that down.
So what's happening in the market is that, let me step away from the trader for a second. What I've observed is that prior to to this year, before we got a change in administration, and it went from way anti anybody that owned crypto was a thief, right, to a positive pro crypto administration, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed in the last 8 months, what has happened? The banks hated crypto. Why? Because you were going and taking all of your money out that you had given them for free for them to turn around and give it back to you on a credit card at 39%. Catch something might be a little squirrely in that. They were thinking that all you were doing is taking your money out. Then there was a pro crypto administration, right? There's an application for a 39% credit card. So then we have a positive shift, a giant shift, a 180 shift to a positive crypto administration, decentralized finance administration. Then what happened? Ed said, I think it was February. I think you said March, but February they had this big crypto council, crypto summit, which was then shortly after that was the Genius Act was passed. Which, what did the Genius Act do? It opened the doors to the banks.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. It opened the door to institutional trading, which meant the banks eventually, where we are now, the banks can play in this space. So here's what's happening. The institutions are putting, I was going to say billions, putting trillions into this marketplace and forcing you to run as fast as the uninformed, the people without the trader, run as fast as you can away from crypto. Let's dump everything. Let's just take our licks. Let's write it off, or whatever your thought process is. But here's what happens. Institutional, right? You talk about if you're a market follower, you talk about all these ETFs. Where did the ETF come from? Why did they create ETFs? So that you could bundle, just like you bought in the S&P 500 or whatever the mutual funds were. The ETFs are bundled cryptos that they can trade in the traditional fiat market. So what's happening? Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars are funneling into the ETFs, all of which just began to be approved. Bitcoin being probably about a year old, maybe not even that. You've got how many, Attila, how many ETFs are hanging out there waiting for the government to reopen?
There's just over 90, and I think 23 of them are XRP ETFs.
Right, representing trillions of dollars that will automatically come into this market. It's going to dry up the liquidity. So what's happening? The institutions think they're getting over on you.
That's why
They're
I
trying
keep
to force.
saying you can't own enough crypto.
They're trying to force. So going back, and I'll make the comment: when's a good time to if you're considering getting the trader? Are you waiting for the market to go up? No. Now is the time. Now is the time, because we are literally in the dinosaur age of retail institutional adoption of crypto. Here's what happens next, and I'll end the story and we'll move on to the next question. What happens? It's a trivia question. What happens when institutional adoption becomes saturated? Meaning all of the institutions have chased everybody out and eaten up all the inventory. What happens? And all the banks are now able to issue their own stable coins that are one-to-one backed. The liquidity is going to dry up in the crypto market space, and it's going to move to the next rung, which is the final rung, which is retail adoption. Which, guess what happens if you wait for retail, the retail adoption? You're too late.
Hey, Edward, did you know we got 12 more questions to go?
I do. I'm done. That was it. Perfect timing.
13.
Does anybody ever take surveys? Like if you go out, do you ever talk about crypto to other
No.
people out in the streets or whatever?
No, Ed,
I
we
do.
don't.
I do now.
I do. Like if I'm in Quest Diagnostics, that blood work place, everybody's sitting in the waiting room like they're waiting to be executed or something. I don't know. They reminds me of, what's that thing?
Did we
I
lose
can't
him?
Bandwidth just dropped. His bandwidth
What's
just
the
dropped.
one where they're all waiting? Gladiator, when they're all waiting out there to go out, nobody's talking, so I go in there and when I go in, I go, hey, anybody want to talk crypto? I just throw that out there, right? And usually, people look down or they look up, they look away, they're looking away from you, like you said a bad word. And last time I did it, a few weeks ago, the whole room started laughing, and I laughed along too. And I'm like, wow, they are out of it. They are out of it. I ask when I'm in lines in stores, so you guys in cryptos? They don't know what a crypto is. They're out of it. And then Attila came up with a number a few weeks ago. He said, oh, listen, or you did 8%, 8% of Americans are even doing something with crypto, but most of them they don't know what they're doing.
They're doing it wrong. They're guessing.
Yeah. So they're just guessing and the coin prices keep going lower and lower. You notice every day, every other day, we're getting hammered. And it's what I said, I've been telling people for a month, we're going to see blood in the streets before it goes up. And that's the opportunity to be loading up at the very bottom, man, all that inventory that we're just going to dump for unbelievable prices. And we've seen it before. They're literally looking for the biggest payday ever, the mother of all paydays. And I recognized it all the way back in October of 21. As soon as they started driving, because before they started driving the market down, those of you can remember from April of 21 to October of 21, the market was going straight up. We were getting crazy moves. I used to have my laptop sitting right on my bedstand next to the bed. And in the morning, I would lift up the lid on the laptop to see how much I made while I was sleeping. It was amazing. It was thousands. I mean, I can make 500, I can make 12,000 in a day while I was sleeping. I mean, that's how great it was. And then something happened in October of 21. That's when the big boys said, wow, look at these cryptos. We want in. And when they want in, what do they got to do? They got to get everybody else out. And they want to buy at the lowest prices because they're looking for the mother of all paydays. They're going to make billions. And a lot of people are just getting, most people, they go all in at the top. The prices go down here because they're just buying holders. The prices go down here. They're dead. They're missing all the trades. And the price is just going, and they're watching it going lower and lower. So what is their family and friends saying? Get out. You're going to lose everything. Because I know, because I get phone calls from people, you know, and I see what's going on. People are bailing. They're panicking. And I'm like, man, I'm loading up more and more at the bottom. You know, if this strategy does, if this trader, if the market goes away completely, then the only way this thing loses is there is no crypto market. It doesn't exist. So either we're all delusional here. We see all the good news every day. We see BlackRock. We see Fidelity. We see the banks are now allowed to store crypto, which is amazing. That Genius Bill was genius in itself, because before the banks were anti-crypto. They hated you. You know, if you were taking money out of the bank to put it into the crypto market, they hated you. Now they're going to be able to store crypto. And since most people are buying holders, wow, they could just store that crypto for the buy and holders and actually use it in their reserves. And that's a big deal, because when I take 50,000 out of the bank, they hate me.
Right. Just like
When I go to a bank,
just like you keep giving your money to the bank, not you, but but most people are buffaloed into thinking they give their money to the bank for free to use for free for them to lend it back and make money on you. So if you're delusional, then you have 353,476.63 reasons to be delusional.
oh, yeah, right. I'm not delusional, because I know I'm taking money forever. You know, when I go to a bank, the vernacular today, some of you older folks like me remember when the vernacular used to be when you walked into a business, they used to say, may I help you? Remember that, those days when they would say, may I help you? Now the vernacular is, how are you? You notice that? That changed a few years ago to that. How are you? But when I go to a bank, it's really funny when they say, how are you? I go, hey, crypto's up, I'm up. They hate me. They hate me.
Hey,
All right.
Marco has a question. You want to read it, Edward?
Yep. Have you had a trader experience a situation where the coin is selected went to zero?
Well, the coin
So
didn't
what
select
happened?
anything.
We
The
covered
coin
that.
didn't select
Yep.
the symbols.
Yep.
The trader didn't select the symbols, you did.
Right.
But no, PRQ merged with another company and they became Renewal or something like that.
React.
Oh, React. All right. And
Right.
so sometimes that kind of stuff happens.
That's
But
like,
it doesn't. Right.
have
It
you
doesn't
ever-
go away. I don't think anything's been. I mean,
No, I've never seen anything go to zero. No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, before I had the trader, I was a hodler. I've had more than 10 coins go to zero. Okay, so I've experienced that as a hodler. Now, again, this is outside of the trader. But like I said before, the chances of that happening moving forward are less and less and less and very remote, because these exchanges have very stringent, much more stringent than even 2 years ago, qualifications for coins to get listed on their exchanges. It's their reputation at stake. They're getting more and more choosy, and they're adding more and more qualifications needed to be met. I just read that like two weeks ago.
Yep.
I don't see these top coins going away. I mean, I'd be very surprised. But you don't have to, like, you can say, all right, I don't want to trade Pirate, even though it's number 9 on the highest trade count report. It's not available at Kraken, but it is available at Coinbase. But it's a meme coin, so maybe you don't want to trade that coin. You go down and you find another one. Number 10 here. Well, that's only at Coinbase. If you're at Kraken, then XYO. XYO is. I mean, I see people doing it. I see all the traders, by the way. There's no secrets from me. So I know what people are doing. Everybody's grabbing just like the 7-Eleven report. They're trading the stuff that turns inventory. They're just using common sense, right? This is a common sense trader.
That's for
There's
sure.
no gambling going on here. There's no
Yeah.
forecasting. I'm not predicting
There's-
anything. I don't know what a coin's going to do.
There's no loyalty to the ticker. Okay? There's no loyalty. Until you talk about you've had coins go to zero. My next question for a follow-up with that is, well, what exchanges were you playing in to get those coins? How did you acquire those coins and went to zero?
Yeah,
Right?
did you go to
prove that-
Pancake Swap? Did you go to
Yeah.
Pancake Swap to buy
right?
it?
There's to piggyback on the point of this trader works at 2 and only 2 exchanges.
Right.
And those exchanges have arguably within this space stood the test of time, been as compliant as they possibly can. In fact, Coinbase was the first one to say, yeah, Mr. IRS, come on in. Everybody in the market was like, oh, what are you doing? That's the bad guys. What? But they're still around. They're still here. They're playing ball. Kraken, slightly different approach, but nonetheless, very much compliant. Very,
Yeah.
very much. In fact, Kraken's, I think they're doing IPO very soon as well. Okay, so this is like, as in the business world, we want to see that. Okay, so to prove Attila's information there, and I know we're going to get into questions, but this very much bears worth repeating. The restrictions that are in place, the qualification processes that are in place to have these coins on the exchange is very much bigger, at least here in the States. Okay, Binance, Qcoin, etc. All these international exchanges, they have different rules because they're in different jurisdictions. Again, the importance, at least to me, of this works with Coinbase, US-based company. I'm in the US. Kraken, another US-based company. I'm in the US. Also, most coins available for trading in most of the jurisdictions that we have here in the States. And I'm talking about New York, New Jersey, Florida, Tennessee. Those are different jurisdictions. New York's, you guys got it rough. I mean, you can only do there's coins you can't even do at Coinbase in New York. That's just New York. It's their jurisdiction, right? So
Yeah, and Hawaii.
And Hawaii's another one. Great example. I always forget about Hawaii. So can a coin go to zero? Yes. The likelihood of a coin going to zero now versus last year before, huge gap, in my opinion. Just as my own opinion,
excellent
right?
point.
Yep.
Excellent point. And you are to your point, you're absolutely right, because about 70% of those coins were through a DEX. Uniswap to what do you call it? Uniswap.
MetaMask or
MetaMask, thank you. Meta. That was
MetaMask
Meta.
is one. Yeah.
And then I had one out of Asia. In the beginning, when I first got into crypto, I couldn't buy the coins I wanted to buy unless I sent USDC to a Chinese exchange, and I bought them and I swapped them for the coin I wanted. It was very difficult.
Right.
You know?
Well,
And
not only that, Coinbase is a publicly traded company. I mean, that says a lot, Coinbase, being a publicly traded company.
So
forward.
we're making headway here. We're making headway. Lisa says, Ed, Lisa is asking a question. What happens when the lots reach 25? I'm assuming it locks the buying until it sells off. And
what happens is your funds will be, let me go in here. All your funds, it says it right on the bottom. It's say you're at 20, let's just put this at 25.
Right.
It's a 75, you start with a 75% expected trading window. From top to bottom is a 75% window. That means all funds right here, except the profits saved, will be used in that 25% window. So the software is going to make sure that it allocates the shares that it buys each time to make sure you have enough funds to go down 25 lots. And 3 times 25 is a 75% trading window. See, if you're adding on 3% drops times 25 lots, 25 times, it'll give you a 75% trading window. I call that a trading window. As long as it stays in that window, you're fine. Now, if you reach the 25, you will be out of money, theoretically, okay? That means the software will have used up the funds that you gave it, your principal amount, but you're sitting in all those shares. Now, you want to increase it then. Let's say I'm going to increase it to 30. It's going to increase my trading window to a 90% trading window. But where am I going to get the funds? This is where I try to tell people the default setting on the profits saved is to save 100% of your profits. I don't have it there right now because I've already got $100,000 sitting in my save bucket. I'm not worried about it. But when I first started, this is the default, 100%. Percent of profits to save. So you should have a big bucket of money at that time. At that time, you could say, okay, I'm going to release 25,000 of that 106,000 to give the auto trader more money to work with now. Edit, go in here and say minus 25,000. If I click save, it's telling me amount in profit save bucket after clicking save is going to be 81,753. That's going to be that minus the 25,000. That's going to give the auto trader 25,000 from your save bucket. It's going to release it to the trader. It hurts me deeply when somebody runs out of money, and then I come and look and I raise and I'm helping them and I say, okay, well, let's raise that to 30. So now you got more. Now let's go to the save bucket and release some money. Oh, look, they had 0 and there's no money in their save bucket. I'm like, you know, they weren't thinking ahead. Software's thinking ahead. The default is save 100% of your profits. Now you can live on it. I have a Visa credit card, a Coinbase credit card. I literally live off of it. Every time I use it, I just say to myself, you know, how much money can you spend in grocery stores anyways, you know?
Bad example, bro. Bad example.
Yeah, a couple $100, right? What's the most? And I say to myself, the card that keeps on giving, it's like Twilight Zone, you know. The only difference is when you remember the old one of those movies they had where every time you opened up the cigar box, you could reach in and pull out cash. But you know, in the Twilight Zone, every time you pulled out the cash, somebody in the world died.
Right.
That's evil, you know. So you know that's. But nobody's dying here. Every time I use, I can't. The profits my trader takes is just. The profits every month. I mean, this is like the slowest month I've seen in a long time. So far, only $1,100. You know, I mean, you know, usually I take anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a month in free money. It just keeps taking and taking and taking. You know, so but
Quick,
yeah, I got
quick interruption. Alex, go put your kids to bed. We love that you joined us. About this time tomorrow, it'll be on the Financial Intelligence YouTube channel. So I'll quickly post that in, and then we'll resume. Kiss your kids goodnight. Be on the lookout. Subscribe to our channel, and you'll get reminded every time something's posted. All right.
But here's the deal: thank you, Alex. By the way, the thing is. It's usually the people that are running out of money are actually running out of money before they get to that bottom. Because somebody will go in here and change this like 10. And then they got a 30% trading window. And it's like, that's going to squeeze all your money into that 30% window. And then the coin drops 50%. And then I'll get an email and someone will say, how come my auto trader's not buying anymore? Well, you don't have any money. You used it all up. I know one person, and I'm not insulting this person at all, but they did get excited a few months ago about XRP. They heard some news. They said it's going to go to 500,000 or something, and they went and bought $40,000. Went to Coinbase and bought $40,000 worth of XRP. That used up all the cash. There was no cash left in the account. And then they sent me email and said, how come my auto trader's not buying anymore? And I'm like, well, you don't have any money. You manually used it. Every time you go to Coinbase and and do things like buy other coins, you're taking away money from the auto trader. And because the auto trader is stretching your money out to a 75% trading window, the more money you use up here, the less money it has down here. So it'll give you the 75% trading window, but you'll be trading in a lot less volume. The size
Right.
of it will be a lot
Right. The
smaller.
size of the amount of money for that lot, right? The volume,
Right.
right?
Will
You know.
decrease as you're spending manually trading. I want to
Yeah.
make the same amount of money down here with every trade as I was making up here. And so no matter where it goes, so I don't do any manual trading ever, not even for a penny. I see it's like, well, it says if it goes up one more penny, it's gonna take profit. I'm not gonna give in. I'm not gonna give in and say go ahead and close it. No way, because it's on there. You know, you can click. If you click on a plus, you can see right here. I can click close this lot if I wanted to, and I never do that.
Bad move.
No.
Yep.
Bad
That's the
move.
only way. That's the only way you can lose. So Michael says, Ed, can you tell us a little bit more about Go Baby Trade Data Center? Not to geek out, but redundancy, backup, exposure to third-party services, APIs, etc.
No, you can't even get to my servers unless you're in my house right here. But-
What's your address?
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
What's my VPN? But even if you got into there, you'd be on a server and then you don't know any passwords, you know, and all the servers, they're all independent, you know. So, you know, I've been doing this 25 years, you know, I have failover clusters where if a server crashes, if a server crashed, just like light bulbs go out, we know the light bulbs go out, that's normal. Server crashes is normal. A power supply can go out. It's no big deal. It's routine. And you know, within 10 minutes, each auto trader has a heartbeat, right? It's constantly writing in a database saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. If it quits writing that, then other servers will automatically pick up your job and run it. So you're able to run on it doesn't matter what server you're running on. And so and then as far as the failover, you know, as far as the load balancers decide how many jobs can run on a server, you know, just a lot of, I've been doing this 25 years. Someone said, you know, what happened when that Amazon AWS went down, you know, and how did that affect you? Didn't affect me at all. I don't use their stuff. I was going to say I don't use their junk. I mean, I don't need it. You know, I can write it. I've been doing this 25 years. You know, I have reduced this whole thing. I mean, I hardly ever have to go to the data center at all. You know, I mean, everything just runs. And the backups, the constant backups on multiple servers of everything, you know, there's
Okay.
and you're extremely secure, by the way. You know, I mean, everything's encrypted. If you looked at the database, there's nothing to see. I can't even get your password if I wanted your password. I couldn't get it. And I definitely don't have your Coinbase password, you know, and so it's like everything is secure.
Right. All right.
Right, so-
Cool. Pete, I was told to leave the defaults. Default coins, my default coins are number 27 and 72. That's okay. Here's sort of a blanket statement with that. That's this month, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Keep
I
in
love
mind,
L3. I love L3.
keep in mind,
and 72 is SUI, right? I'm just guessing. Let's see.
Sui.
I love
so
it.
keep in mind,
I trade those too.
keep in mind, this report is closed profitable trades. If the market keeps going down or has been going down, and your trader, you're fortunate enough, I know it sounds counterintuitive, you're fortunate enough to have a lot of inventory, it means that nothing is selling because they're forcing the prices down. Wait till the market moves.
Well, it could be selling, but it's buying it back on the wiggles. So it tries to go up and we sell it, and then it goes back down, and it goes up and we sell it, and it goes back down.
Yeah,
and
don't
then it
be
goes
afraid.
lower.
Don't be afraid. Look away from the defaults and just pay attention to what's happening. You don't even have to pay attention. Just watch the market, because when it bounces and when we start going in an uptrend, all of this inventory is going to be off. And these numbers, the very next month, because this is a monthly report, these numbers are going to shift violently.
Yeah, it's just jumping all over the place. But you know, you're still getting, like, you have your other third coin you didn't mention was XCN, because I'm trading that coin also. And
Me
then
too.
and then I added a couple more. You know, I threw 150,000 into a trader a couple months ago, and I added those three coins. Plus, I added Swift and SPA. You know, I don't like more than 5 coins in a trader. It doesn't mean if you have $1,000, you should do 5 coins. You know, I wouldn't do that. You know, you only need a couple coins, really.
Yep.
You know,
So
the biggest mistake people make, well, I shouldn't say the biggest, but one of the big mistakes they make is they try to trade too many coins. I mean, I know some of you maybe you own an auto trader and I'm not putting you down, but you know, some people are sitting on 50 coins. And that means they've divided their money up so thin that they don't have much money in the coin.
Right.
Like if you were only trading 1% here, you know, if you divide your money up to 1% per coin, well, you can't go by that, you know, because I've already used 118,000. I'm just saying though, you split up your money too thin, you know, and then when a coin jumps, you don't have any money. You're not making much.
yep. Let me give you the example of Mr. Barsano's
I've
original
never
trader.
had more than 5 coins.
Example of Mr. Barsano's original trader when there were only 35 to choose from. He's not changed them since. And in the less than 4 years, because December 19th, I think, of this year had on your original trader that's made over $950,000 profit. There are 3 or 4 coins that are in there that he's never changed course on. By the way, not the most violently trading coins then or now. But over that 3.5, almost 4 year period, he has 5x'd his money without changing anything.
Over
So
100% a year.
right. So
And that's really up to the market. It's not me. The first year, I mean, there was big times and then there was slow times. The first year when I turned on from October of 21 to the next year to October of 22, the coins were way down. They dropped 90%. But then people started calling me around December or January of 23 in my other trader. And they said, Ed, look at this. Look at my closed trades. And that was the first time I had a chance to observe greatness. The closed trades P&L was greater than the open positions P&L. So even though the coins dropped 90% that first year, we made more money than what we were down on our open inventory. We were already net positive. And then from then on, this number just kept going higher and higher. And we got the market trapped at the bottom. I keep saying it. I can't get over it. I just think it's so diabolical that we got the market trapped at the bottom. Because as long as these coins stay in business, they're just going to keep paying me. And every time they try to break out, they pay me even more. So we got them just trapped down there.
Yep.
And
All right.
I know what the whales are doing. They're trying to get it. They're just buying as much as they can because they know the prices are going to go back up here.
Right.
And when they do, they're going to make a fortune, man.
All right. So
get richer.
So they just finished the New York Marathon, and we're running. We can see the finish line. So Pete says my Go Baby trade account kicks me out after 3 minutes of non-use. Is there a way to lengthen the kick out time?
Good question.
What does he mean by kick out?
I guess auto logs him out.
So I've experienced this PC versus cell phone, right? On my cell phone, I will like go to another page within the platform on my cell phone, and then it will have me log back in. versus, I mean, like almost immediately
Okay.
sometimes, you know.
Can I
And
tell
so
you
I-
what happened? Can I
Tell
tell
me
you
what
what
happened.
happened?
Tell me what
the load
happened.
balance. That's the
Tell me what
load
happened.
balancer. That's the load balancer. One of our load balancers crashed. A device
Okay.
crashed like a week ago.
Okay.
And it's losing its state. When you move to another page, it doesn't know where it's making you log in.
Okay.
And
Okay. It's almost like
you
doing it.
notice the
It's
trader
forcing you to
hasn't
do
done
it.
that. You
Yeah.
notice the trader hasn't done that, even though it's
No.
refreshed the screen.
No.
Every 30 seconds, it refreshes the screen. Watch. When I leave that on here like this, watch what happens in 30 seconds. We can keep on talking in the meantime.
So,
Watch.
right. So we're
There,
down to
you
two.
see how it all went away?
There. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, every 30 seconds, it refreshes the screen. Otherwise, we can't just keep pounding the screen, changing every time every minute or whatever, or every second.
You know,
It's, you wouldn't be able to read the numbers.
I will
But
say
this
that
isn't your auto trader, folks. This is a picture of your auto trader.
Right. It's a window. It's a window.
It's a web page that's showing you what your trader's doing. Your auto trader, the numbers are flying, and it's not looking. There's no graphical interface for the actual auto trader. Those numbers, because that slows things down, having to write things across the internet and all that. That's
So,
what's
Cody-
nice about having all the auto traders running on my servers.
Cody says, if it's just buying on 3% dips and selling on 5% gains, what is the neural network actually doing? Couldn't I achieve the same with a simple script? Ouch.
No.
No.
No, because the numbers are changing. It's not just doing that. There's a lot more. Plus, there's a lot of rules that rules have to pass also. It doesn't mean, it's got to do money management and everything. You can try it. Somebody actually asked me that a few days ago. I remember I looked over. You didn't see me look over. You see where I'm looking over right now? There's like one of those, what are those couches that have just, it's a long thing like you could lay on it. What is
Jay's
it?
A
Lounge.
lounge chair.
That's what it is. Okay. I was sitting on that. And the guy said, I'm a programmer. I want to create my own. I said, okay, how old are you? And he said, well, I'm 40 years old. I said, okay, well, when you're 65, that's where you'll be right where I am today.
exactly. Yeah, Cody,
But
if
you
got
don't know
25,
what you don't know.
yeah,
And the knowledge I have doesn't mean you will not have gained the same knowledge that I have over the last 25 years, because I gained my knowledge from having thousands of clients giving me feedback. So I didn't have to make every mistake. I watched other people make thousands of mistakes. Hey, it was their strategy, not mine. And I learned what works and what doesn't work. So you're not there. That means, how many times do you think you can lose all your wealth and then start over again?
yeah, good luck on that
You'll
one,
be wiped
Cody.
out. I mean, I wouldn't do it. You already got an auto trader right here. What a gift from God, really. And I'm not calling
Amen.
myself God, but what a gift that have
Thunderbolt.
somebody that could spend 25 years. See, that's the thing. I'm in a unique situation because I've been retired since 95. I'm already I was
Bored
well
since
before
95.
that.
That's beautiful.
I mean, I'm done. What's that?
Bored
You've
since
been bored
95.
since 95, right?
I know.
You know,
Well, I
it's
was
like,
only
oh,
bored the
I
first
got all
time.
this time. I got all this money.
No,
3
the
years
first
later,
couple years,
this is crap.
was being retired. But then
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that, I want to drive my car into a wall. What was
How'd it go?
interesting though is you need also, if you're going
Sorry.
to create your own trader, you need feedback, and you need
Yeah.
lots of feedback, and
Data,
you need
data,
people
data.
that are going to tell you whether you're on the right track or not. Like
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 out of the blue. And I'm like, and right here on this phone, and I'm like, not this one. This is an iPhone 11, but it's the same phone number though. And he called and he said, "Will you connect your robotic trader to us to TD Ameritrade so our clients can use it?" And I'm like, "Why are you calling me? And how do you even know me?" I'm like, "I don't advertise or anything. I'm just word of mouth. Clients who use it share it, and that's it. They share their success." And his answer was the most, I wanted on my headstone what his answer was. He said, "You're real." Isn't that just like the ultimate answer? He said, "You're real." And I said, "You're right, I am real." You know? And I mean, that's a heck of a statement to have a multi-billion-dollar company like TD Ameritrade say we trust your auto trader enough to give it to all of our clients. I thought that was amazing. You know, so I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so I always got to have constant feedback. Eddie, you're doing good. You know, I got to hear it. You know, you got to hear it to know that, am I on the right track? Am I right? Am I right?
Yep.
Hey, Ed.
You know,
Yep.
because you are battling. It's not easy to be the abstainer. You know, it's not easy when I'm bucking the whole system. I'm doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Everything they're teaching out there's all wrong, and they got you going. You know, you're spinning your wheels. You don't even they don't even know what they're doing. They're all, you know, they even. I mean, I present it to audiences every week, to live audiences all over the country. I mean, I remember I'm going to look over to my left because I remember this one guy in the audience. He said, "You know, you should." You know, you're adding to losing positions. That's like catching a falling knife. I'm like, lose the cliches, man. You don't even know what you're talking about. You know, in his mind, you should sell a coin when it's or a stock when it's down. I'm like, you'll be selling at a loss every other day. They actually teach you in the training classes, if a stock goes down 3%, sell it. And it's like, man, you be selling at a loss every other day. It's like, forget it. And then
All
what's
right.
worse is the guy teaching the class isn't even in the market. They're lying.
Yeah.
So that's even worse, you know,
All
that
right,
the guy
Ed,
teaching the class
Ed.
doesn't even know what he's talking about.
We're literally down to our last question.
Have at it, Attila.
All right, so Marco's asking, sorry, I've got too much time to think here, but I'm not clear on the selling of lots for profit. When what you've done is simply lowered your average price across the holdings of a single coin as the
Don't look
price-
at an average price. It means nothing.
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
average is
I don't think,
average is average. Mhm.
yeah, it's a little confusing the way he asked the
Because if I
question.
buy something at 10 and then I buy it at, and it goes down to 1 and I buy it again, when it goes up to 2, I can sell the one I bought at 1 for 2 and take profit. I could do that 1,000 times, 10,000 times. You saw it in the bucket and the well. I can hold that loser up there and trade down here in perpetuity. As long as that coin stays in business, it never has to go back up there.
Yeah, Marco's
Otherwise-
assumption is that it's all accumulation of one position,
Right.
but it's
It's
not.
holding. Yeah, it's a holding. He's going from a holding position. I'm in a DCA all the way down, win moon, then I liquidate, and that's not the play here.
No,
No.
Yeah.
no. Each lot is considered its own profit center.
If
Right.
you do what you said, the coin right down here would have to go, watch when it goes down one more. The coin you bought here would have to go halfway up to break even if I was going to sell the whole thing. But I'm constantly selling the one lot. And then when it jumps up there, I can sell it all and take all that profit.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
this is a money machine. And once you get it, and Marco, you may not get it. It may take you a long time.
He got
know,
it.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've had people that have signed up and said, I was looking at this thing 6 months ago, and I don't know why I waited this long. And that's the biggest thing that you're gonna feel, because once you get this, it's in your head now. You are gonna go automated, whether you do it now or you do it a year from now,
Mhm.
because everything else is gambling. We're not gambling at all. That's the beauty. We're not
Yep.
gambling at all. We're just taking free money. I'm running a 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. Do you think 7-Elevens are gambling?
No.
Or McDonald's is gambling? They look at the cost of everything
If
and they
you-
figure out,
if
what do
you
I
eat
have to
there,
sell
yeah.
these hamburgers
Yeah,
for?
they're only gambling on your health.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know,
If you eat there, yeah, that's ooh.
I love it. I love their filet of fishes, though. I really do.
Oh man.
Dude,
Oh,
I
it's
don't
not
care.
healthy.
I don't care. I love them. I
Well-
love Jack in the Box tacos too.
Hey, Ed,
But let me
did
tell
you-
you this.
I second that. I'll give you
I
some
love
love
those
on that one.
tacos. They used
Yeah.
to be 2 for $1. They're like 2 for $2 now. They're
Yeah,
still.
Just
not
stop. You're
anymore.
making me hungry.
But what was I gonna say? I mean,
You love
made me
filet of
forget
fish.
something.
Okay, we
No,
gotta-
but once you get it, it's in game, because I can tell you what all the clients are doing, and because I get constant feedback, and people are selling their rental properties. They're shutting down they're selling their businesses. Some people are mortgaging their house. If you go to the video, I actually put a video out on here on the website. Where is it? Under the videos, I put a video out here, and what did I say here? Don't do this when buying cryptos, this one. And you know what I say in there? Don't mortgage your house, because people are doing that. They're mortgaging their houses to get more money to throw into the auto trader. It's just a numbers game. The more money you put in, the more money it's just going to make per trade. And you want to get those numbers up there. And, it's once you get it, then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you don't get it now, you'll get it later. We're not salesmen here. I don't think any of us are salesmen.
Marco
I'm not a
says,
salesman, that's for sure. I couldn't sell candy when I was in 7th grade.
Marco says, can you mortgage your wife's house?
Only
You mean
you
you're-
can. You can. It's kind of a death sentence kind of a thing there. There's
Oh,
a death
yeah.
sentence clause, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to cook. I wouldn't last
Well,
long.
But you mean your ex-wife's house?
Yeah. Whoever
right,
figures
gentlemen.
that one out.
Okay, we got to wrap
Gentlemen,
up.
we have literally gone longer than the person that won the marathon yesterday to run a marathon.
4, 5,
So-
6, 7. 3 hours and 19 minutes. Yeah, that's
Three-
a record.
3 hours and nope, you're 4 minutes short of a record. However,
I can stay here for 4 more minutes. to
Oh, I
break a
can-
record.
I can
got
do
no
it
problem.
15
all
minutes.
right. So wait a minute. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead, Edward.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Time
Go
out.
ahead, Edward. Go
I
ahead.
am going to bring up. I'm now renaming this as the. Actually, I'm going to kick you off there, Ed.
yeah,
Let
okay.
me see.
Let me get off.
No, you're good. I got you. All right. Can everybody
All
see
right.
this?
No.
I told you at the beginning
That's
we would
right,
deal from
right.
facts. Okay.
Right, thank you.
This is an outlandish slide. So now I'm going to call it a missed opportunity slide. You think it's outlandish, but it's not. This is actually a conservative historical value of what Mr. Barsano's traders has done. Over
Okay.
that and I told you before, over the 3.5 year, it'll be 4 in December, late December, that it's 5x his money. So would you agree that in 3.5 years, 5x your money is more than 100% on your money cumulative over that period of time? It's not math. It's just a yes, right? So let's say, oh, by the way, let me remind you, in a 90% down plus 90% plus down market, it created that. So let's just assume that we're going to see either a static or a rise bull market. We've not been in a bull trend since this product was released, but let's just say that it repeats itself and maybe even does higher. It could be, let's say it's half, right? People often ask, okay, I invest $3,500. Yes, I know I'm getting a $1,000 discount, but if then how much money do I have to put in to make it worthwhile? I'm going to give you 2 examples. One that's not on this slide. If it only made you $20 a day over a 3-year period, that would be $21,900 on your $5,000 invested, right? Now let's go to the screen. Opportunity lost. I'm going to draw your eyes to the equal signs. If you didn't own the trader and it repeated itself, these numbers would be opportunity lost. So 3 years, your 5 turns into 10, turns into 20, turns into 40. I take your $5,000 out. I take your tool money out. You're a net profit or opportunity lost of $31,500. Forget about the cents for a second. This is where I said at the very beginning, if I asked you to give me $1 and I promised you 3 at the end of the 3 years, how many dollars, Simon? You answer the question. How many dollars would you give me? The answer was all of them, right? So if the end of 3 years, your 5 turns into 40, really your 5 turns into a net of 31.5. Is there a probability that you're going to renew that license? The answer is yes. At the end of the 6 years, 5 turns into 320. Now this is assuming that you're just staying in it, taking the profit, releasing it when necessary, and so on, right? Your $5,000 original investment I take out, You bought another license, so you're up to $7,000 invested. Your net opportunity lost. Whoops. Your net opportunity lost is 308,000. If you do that, are you likely to renew? The answer is yes. I won't wait for an answer. So your 5,000 over that period of time, at the end of 9 years, it's 2,560,000. I take your 5 out. You've now renewed it for a third time. Your opportunity lost is 2.5 million. Now let's say you go, that's crazy. Drop that in half. I won't read all the numbers. You can read it yourself. We're semi-adults, right? Opportunity lost, opportunity lost, opportunity lost. Again, back it all the way down to 25 or 30%. I don't know where you can get that kind of money, but I can tell you, based on what I know of the fiat finance scam system, that if you're not making 20% of your money, you're just getting poorer slower.
Can I tell you, the market has been going down, 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 right? Over the last 4 years. They're torturing everybody as much as they possibly can. But in order for you to continue to be tortured, they have to go down, down, down again for the next 4 years. How are they going to do that?
They can't.
The coins are already sitting at the bottom. There is no
They can't.
market if they try to do that again. That means it has to go up. And when it does, we are going to kill it, man.
Yep.
You know, and think about this also when you're running a robotic trader. How did you ever think about yourself? How did you feel about the market? But I don't like looking at myself. I'm looking at myself here in the mirror, like I'm staring at myself in the mirror while I'm talking. This is awful.
Practice.
Oh, now I'm looking at Simon. Okay. All right. Now at least I feel like I'm talking to somebody. Thank you.
Well, that's good. Okay, I'll stay right here. I'll stay in frame.
Thank you. And every once in a while you got to talk. So
No problem.
But, you know, think about all the years. I mean, our whole life, our entire life, we've been in the market, in the stock market, and it's always been a mystery and a gamble.
Right.
And I've been doing this now 25 years, and I can tell you, the longer you run this, you're at ease with the market, man. You're done. You're done with the planet. It just changes everything, man. And it's amazing because everywhere I go and I'm looking at the people and talking to people out there, and I'm like, dear Lord, they don't know. They don't realize that it's all free money.
It's
They
a
don't
paradigm
get it.
shift for sure.
And
Paradigm shift.
it's painful to see it. But, you know, you've heard the expression, and I hear other people say it, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And it's an interesting thing. It's tough for us to be preaching this stuff and showing example after example after example. You know, when I first moved,
I started yesterday. When we started this, I started by saying we were going to deliver fact. And that's what we've done.
yeah, there's everything. There's no fluff here at all. Everything is just actual real numbers, real fact. It's just, I mean, it's just numbers up and down, and it's amazing.
Truth is a funny thing, though. Truth and fact is a real funny thing. Most of us don't buy the truth or fact, right? Like we fight that. I think I think I fought more truth in my life than BS. Pardon the term, lies. Okay, or something that is askew, right? The askew, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But you tell the truth, I'm like, that's impossible.
Yeah. Well,
no
we've been trained to go along, to get along. Yeah. But guess what?
Fair.
You want me to break out a few good men? You can't handle the truth.
This is facts.
That you on that wall.
Yeah.
So listen,
you know,
you guys have now conquered the record.
Yeah, but we're not done yet.
Ed and I are in a whole different time zone. Like I literally got probably another 5 hours I could rock this thing out. You know, I mean, sorry, fellas, I'm not gonna do that.
When I first moved to Arizona, back in '95, the electric bill, you got 3 air conditioners, right? Because it gets hot out there, and And I remember they said, we want you to deposit more money in, we don't want you to just make a payment every month because your bill's like $1,000 a month. We want you to put extra money in there. And they said, well, but we'll sweeten it for you. We'll give you 10% interest for whatever you put in. I said, okay, I'll give you $1 million then. And right away she's like, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm like, hey, you want to give me 10 back then, I'll give you $1 million and you give me 10% a year, why not? I'll give you 10 million.
Yep.
But then she said, oh no, I can't take more than 10,000. I'm like, give me a break.
What am I gonna do with that?
All right, fantastic.
All right.
Okay, Simon, I promised at the very beginning you would give us your 2 cents. So now we're going to move into closing arguments and final comments. And Simon, you're our special guest. Go right ahead.
Closing thoughts is, first off, thank you guys for doing this. I look forward to doing this again in 2 weeks from today. Hopefully a little.
Me too.
A little shorter maybe for some of
Let's
those
cut
on
it
the
by
East
4
Coast
hours.
again, Adam.
We'll cut it by 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll cut it by 10 minutes.
We make all this stuff up as we go. We're working.
Yeah, I
on
know. Who said we could be salesmen after shows like this, right? We got the gift of gab. Really, guys, here's what I want you guys to focus on. Those of you that know me in the infinite banking concept world, okay? In the beginning, this thing can move slow, okay? And I'm talking for this kind of compounding effect. We didn't address this tonight, okay? But this does lock in profits. I have multiple videos of it locked in 4 cents because I'm only doing $200 in paper trade. Everybody here is like, why are you doing that? I'm doing that just to drive a point home of, even though that's peanuts, because we as a society will poo-poo a dollar. Dollar, that's nothing, blah, blah. It's like, I'm sorry. The point here is you didn't have to do anything to earn that dollar. The trader did that for you. So let this thing work for you, okay? I just want you guys to focus on that. That's my closing thoughts for tonight.
Excellent.
Links down below somewhere.
Yep,
Reach
I just
out.
posted them again. I'll
Perfect.
post your I'll post your discount link again while Mr. Barsano gives his closing. Besides Go Navy, gives his closing remarks.
I took it away. I try to tell my
Stole his
nephews, when they're years ago, when they were younger, coming out of high school, I'd say, so what are you going to do? When I visited them in Chicago. And they said, well, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to just take some time off. I said, why don't you go to Navy for 4 years, man? It'll change your whole life. And they act like I'm asking them to run through a rice paddy with a machine gun or something. And I'm like, man, it changed my whole life, man. I mean, it's, I found my niche, programming. And I highly recommend that for everybody. Seriously, it changes you. But yeah, go Navy, and thank you for inviting me, Simon.
Hey,
And
pleasure to have you
too
here.
bad Alan wasn't here. I always enjoy talking to Alan.
Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get him
And,
on.
4-hour
but
show
no,
guaranteed.
I really seriously enjoy it. I like to share what we have.
Yeah,
And
It's good stuff.
well, we're all of us are focused on serving others. So, Mr. Attila, what say you, sir?
I just wanted to ask Ed not to be so shy next time. Just talk a little bit more, Come on, man. Let it all out. Come on.
let me add one more thing. When I interviewed at Microsoft, they called me out of the blue, and by the way, back in '87, and said, will you come in and interview? Because I was working on this other computer that they didn't know how to program. But anyways, when I went, they asked me if I'd come in and interview. And I was standing in front of a whole room full of programmers at Microsoft. And they were throwing questions out and all that, and I was answering it and everything. And so they hired me. And then 9 years later, when I was leaving, I was sitting in the personnel office and with my personnel folder. And I was surprised. I never knew I had a personnel folder. And it had all the stuff, all the jobs, all the promotions, everything, And at the very bottom were comment sheets at the very bottom. Like the first things they added to this personnel folder were the comment sheets from that first interview from the other programmers, the stuff that they wrote. And I remember when I remember one guy wrote in big bold letters, intense, scary. Now, I didn't know he did that until I was leaving 9 years later. If I knew that he wrote that 9 years ago, it might have influenced my behavior going forward, but
I don't
I
think
didn't
so.
know he wrote that. So I was me right to the end.
That's great, Ed.
All right.
Love that story.
So my last words, and you have scored a record, Mr. Barsano. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity for letting us share this information. If you choose that, if you so choose that it's a good decision, then great. We'd love to have you as part of the family. I want to also say thank you to Simon, Alan, the entire Staple crew, the entire Simon Sez Crypto crew for having the wherewithal and the smarts to invest your time into something you may not have been ever exposed to. Something that we hope blesses you for the rest of your life and allows you to, as I shared from the very beginning, the opportunity to create a legacy for my children's children. Mr. Barsano, I always end by saying thank you so much for the opportunity to put us in a position where we don't have to worry about things anymore. You talked about being at peace with the world. You talk about what's here. Here's oxygen, right? How important is oxygen? What comes next? What's the next most important thing?
My wife.
Water.
All right, your wife, not the right answer. Neither one of you. Money. Either like Mr.
I
Barsano.
never even think about money.
Mr. Attila said that if you have more money at the end of the month, things get a lot easier than more money at the end of the money. So with that,
Money.
I'll steal Attila's thunder for a second. We want you to prosper. Go forth and multiply your money. We are so grateful for the opportunity.
Yep.
We'll be here every 2 weeks. You'll get notification. I believe it's the 17th. Always on a Monday, always at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're here to serve you. If you have any questions, I posted the links a million times. Be on the lookout on the channel. We would love it if you subscribe to the channel. We'll make sure that you're completely updated. We'll get all the information to Simon and Alan. And that's it. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Cheers.
God
Thank you,
bless
Simon.
everybody.
Thanks,
Take
Ed.
care, everybody.
Bye-bye.